from your house. So what are they wanting you to do? What is the task? What do you think they're encouraging you to do as someone who's stranded? Cameron?
Go 1 mile northwest away from your house.
Yep. To do
and
what?
Find shelter.
Yes. Okay. So what's your first step going to be? What are you going to do? What are you going to need to know? What are you thinking right now? Dylan?
How long a mile is?
How long is a mile? Okay. Other things you're wondering in addition to that?
How do you know where northwest is if it's a blizzard?
How do you know which direction is northwest if it's a blizzard? I think I'd be worried about that too. Yes?
Right.
How many steps
How many steps
is
in a mile? Like how many? Why would you need to know how many steps are in a mile?
say you don't go to
So you don't go too far, okay? Any other reasons? Like couldn't you just walk until you bump into it?
Yes.
Okay. Victor said, well, you might just be a little off and pass it up. What are the circumstances that would make you pass it up? What's happening? Why couldn't we just take that chance? Because I'd be a little tempted to just, well, I'll just bump into it. Nick?
You might get to
I hope that doesn't happen, but definitely. So if you don't drop your compass and you're walking northwest, it might be important to know how many steps because of what else? Cameron?
In blizzard, you might be able to not see the place.
Yes.
You might accidentally pass it.
Yeah. Because what happens in a blizzard? Has anybody really been in a true blizzard? You have, Dylan? Okay, so what's going on in a blizzard?
You can barely see that.
Okay. Have you been in a car, I hope, in a blizzard? Okay. All right. So what's the first thing you think, put on your math hat real quick, what's the first thing you think that you're going to need to know? Because you know you have to, you've got the compass, you're going northwest. What's the next piece? Yes?
You need to know how many steps are in a mile.
You need to know how many steps in a mile. That's no problem. How many steps are in a mile?
There's different amount of steps.
Anybody know? How many steps? And what are some things we need to know before we think about how many steps are in a mile?
How long is it? I don't know.
How long your step is. That's a great answer. What else? Okay, my step is 24 inches long.
24.
How's that going to tell me how many steps? What are you thinking? Raise your hand for me, please. That's okay. If you remember, just raise your hand back up.
Multiply 24.
What are we
Okay,
multiplying?
so-
Back it up. I've got to keep this straight. What are we multiplying? What do you know about a mile that's telling you to multiply? What do you know about a mile?
You can do like
You are looking at your sheets. Uh-oh, that's okay. A mile, which is 63,360. Okay? Will's checking that out for me, making sure I did my math right. Yeah, good for you. Okay, a mile. Now look at the next bullet. It says a mile is 1,760 yards long. I just threw that in there because you might want to consider that later on. So I just know that. How long is a football field? Anybody know? From goal post to goal post, how long is that? Hayden? How many yards? Yeah. It's 100, that's right. So on a football field, if I was going to walk a mile, how many times would I have to walk back and forth to hit 1,760? So I just kind of threw it in there to give you something to think about, to kind of compare how long a mile is. When you think about a football field, you have to walk, it's 1,760 yards is in a mile. There's only 100 yards in a football field, okay? So I just kind of, those of you who watch football, just to know something about that, wanted to give you something to compare it to. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Somebody said a minute ago how many inches your step is. Okay, we do that in stride, and Miss Miller put that word up here on the wall. It's called your stride, and that's from one heel footprint to the other footprint of the other foot. Okay? So the way you determine your step, you have to measure your stride, how big it is, okay? And we're going to do it today in inches. We could do it in feet, but we're going to do it in inches because your old steps are much smaller than an adult's. And one way, there's different ways we could all line up and measure that, okay? However, there might be some variables that might affect what your actual stride is, like the actual step of one leg, okay, when you're walking through the snow. What might influence or affect that measurement? Yes?
You might take small steps so you don't trip on something that might be buried in the snow.
Okay, you might be being extra cautious walking in the snow, so you're taking smaller steps than we would measure in here. Okay, what else? What is it about your circumstances that might affect your stride length, the difference? Yes?
Like the feet might get really cold, so it might be able to walk as fast.
Did you all hear Victor back there? He said, well, it might be really cold. Your feet might feel like frozen cold, and then you might walk and kind of slow and taking smaller steps. Okay, any other ideas? Yeah, let you change that. But first we're going to determine the actual or the estimate by using the formula. Okay, so let's look at your recording sheet. And I kind of just broke this out in steps. And it says, my height to the nearest half inch is. So the first thing we're going to do, and we've all done measurement, we've measured all kinds of items in the classroom when we're doing measurement, is you're going to use your measuring tape and measure your height. Okay, so Victor, stand up here for me. And you're just going to take you're with a partner. You have a partner or two, you're in groups of 2 or 3. You determine, and you'll know after you do the first person, what's easiest for you. So on Victor, thank you, Victor, just look straight over there. I can take the tip of it and put it up here, and Victor can hold it with his hand. And then we're not shooting, you don't have to be perfect, but we want to be as accurate as we can. Hold your head all the way up. Don't let go. Got it? I'm going to run it up. See how it's kind of tight? There's no slacken I'm going to run it all the way down to the bottom of his heel. Put it on the ground. And it says exactly 52 inches. Okay? So Victor's going to come over to his recording sheet and put 52 inches. Okay? So that's what you got, but you got to measure first, right? So get with your partner, take your measuring tape. Who goes first or second? And if you're having trouble, raise your hand and we'll help up tapes. Where's your partner? Right up there. Yeah, I don't know that you want to pull it over the top of your head. You want to, if you have 3 feet, you got it.
This is 59 there. Well, you're not
Hold your head up. Takes a little practice holding on to it. Get a tight grip on it when you get it up there. Or you can flip it and do it from the foot to the top. Either way. Did you get it? Let me help.
59.
She's tall. What's it? 15. So where are you going to put it?
You're 54.
Okay, now flip.
Now measure each other and measure.
And if you know that, if you do measure it in feet, like 4'5", that's fine, but you need to convert it to inches. You guys probably know how to do that.
Okay, do it tight. That's 55. She said to do it 2 times.
If you want to do it in feet, you can, but then you have to figure out how many
What'd
inches.
she say? She said to do what?
I'm just doing a double. Oh, okay. There's one. I don't like doing it. It's stuck in my hair. Okay. Oh, I like it.
Look at step 3. You're getting excited about finding your total number of steps, and you're skipping a step, several of you. So don't forget to put in, for instance, Lola is 53.5 inches. So she's going to come down to step 3 and put 53.5, because that's the half, times .405. And then she's going to put equal, and that's going to give her a number, a big number. Okay, it's going to give her the number of steps. So try that. Does anybody have any questions? Let's read. Go back and read. Okay. Who's your partner? Hey, you got to stand up to do this. Then get lined up. 0.5. You've got it. So look like this. So go ahead, multiply that out. Inch taller than she is.
I'm your partner.
You look at it, you redo it, you'll get it. I'm not going to tell you if it's right. Just follow the steps. Put that in, times that.
I'm 56.
Is there anyone who's not measured their height yet? Yeah. So your stride is going to be 21.8. So you could round that what? If it's 21.87, would you round that up or go down to 21? So it's going to be 22 inches is your stride. Then down here you take this number and divide it by your stride.
How about your rule? What's your rule? It's 5 in the morning, you know what?
You did it right.
All the decimal is 7.8. Is that more than that?
Okay, anybody run into any problems? Any questions?